Hello, everyone. Hello and hello, and welcome to season 6 of Live with Cheryl. I am your host, Cheryl Mebane, and I'm an actor, writer, drummer, singer, researcher, all these different types of things. Sister, and my sister, Dr. Felicia Mebane, is here, our public health ninja. On this show, we will talk with our public health ninja about all types of stuff, including what she's up to lately. And I'll talk about what I'm up to lately. And we'll talk about some health trivia that could be helpful for all of y'all lately. I don't know. I just had to put lately in there. That felt like it was just needing to be there. Welcome, welcome, everybody. We were just talking before live really went live. And I was saying that I feel like we are, a lot of us anyway, back to some of our previous routines. I feel like I'm back to my previous routine, previous to the winter storm 2026. Maybe some of y'all are dealing with it right now still, and I hope that y'all are safe and okay. But where I am, we're back up and going with some delayed going to school kind of situations. And you were saying y'all have some delays still up in your area.
Yeah, so again, I'm in Virginia, so we get the mix. So it's like
Mm,
more times than not, it's wintry mix prediction.
yep.
And then sometimes it'll go snow and sometimes it'll go rain. And that's the most dangerous because ice
Yeah.
is really the
Yeah.
most dangerous. So we've
That's it.
had a combination of that and have been going in a couple of hours late recently. Because we interestingly have had the last 2 times we've had snow in the last 3 or 4 weeks on the weekend. So
You can't get a snow delay on the weekend. So what's up
exactly.
with that?
Exactly.
Well, I feel like I've been blessed from working with home. So I was saying that a lot of folks are back answering emails and I'm calling around for prospecting and things for clients and people are in the office again or they're reachable. So feels like a lot of stuff is going on again and I'm excited. I'm happy. 2026 is kicking off for me. Woohoo. I hope y'all are doing okay in 2026. Get a little shaking things up. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm a little
Oh
bit.
dear.
Yes, it's like I'm up and going, and there's a lot going on. I'm gonna update y'all. Y'all know on this show I do updates as I create. There's been a lot of things I've been up to lately, and so I want to kick over to that. So more recently, auditions go in for lots of different things. Y'all know I'm also a standardized patient over at Duke University, meaning I help portray different cases. I was talking to my son about some of them. He's like, Mommy, maybe you shouldn't practice dying. He was sort of concerned about like maybe you don't get good at that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just trying to help nurses and it's okay. I had to break it down for him because he's little. But that's a fair point. It's like, Mommy, why are we doing this? There's a good reason, honey. There's a good reason. So I have some more of those cases coming up. Not the actual death and dying cases, but just cases with Duke and standardized patient stuff coming up. So I'm happy about them. But some of them, I gotta tell you, if you connect with those cases a lot, it can bring out some things. I'm like, oh, this is an anxiety case. Uh-oh, what's about to happen? I'm like, oh, too method, too much.
I was going to say that seems like the challenge of that all actors have. It's like
Yeah,
where's the balance of
exactly.
being absorbed in the character, whether it's good or bad. It's
Yeah,
still not
yeah, that's true.
you as a person.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and I've never been an actor, so
Excuse
I
me.
don't know the techniques for that. But it seems like that would be the challenge.
Excuse me. The
No,
challenge
no
is also runny nose. Sorry, but
problem.
yeah,
It's cold out there,
it's
so
cold. And my nose is running.
yeah.
Yeah, the challenge. So people suggest ways to, after you're done portraying a case, remind yourself of all the differences between you and that character. Because usually you're trying to find common cause with the character to get into it. So then do the opposite coming out of it. So that's a good tip. And I came from performance in all kinds of other ways and came to acting later in life. And so that was a really good tidbit that folks have been sharing. I was doing all kinds of things as a voice actor at home, and I wasn't doing that, and stuff was living with me. And they're like, this is what you got to do. And I was like, oh, thank you. It's so much better. People really, when they go to school for this stuff, they get some good tips, and they were willing to
Oh,
share.
right.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of people, yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because people talk about, okay, do you have to go to college? Do you have to get degrees? You can learn a lot of things on the job or from your own lived
Yep.
experience.
Yep.
And that's what I think is the value of college in some ways, is that it
Mm.
can accelerate the learning process because all the resources and tools and knowledge are in one place. And that's your primary focus, unless you're working, you know what I mean, if you're a
Yep.
full-time student. So that's kind of what I think of the value of that. So you bring together sort of like, well, people who are all there for similar
Yeah.
reasons, and so you can have that experience. But it's also about the knowledge being brought to you rather than you having to figure it out a little bit more. Not that
It
that's not
is.
value, that's amazing. We need that too, right? But
Yeah.
that's one of the ways I think about college.
Yeah, and I definitely find that resources that colleges give out for free, even though they are concentrating so much more for their students who pay that curriculum, they pay the tuition and they go through the whole curriculum. There's still people who are giving things to the rest of us who can't sort of disrupt our lives quite as much right now at this stage. I need to be more in that earning stage of my life versus the full-time student stage, but I'm still a lifelong learner. And there are a lot of colleges that share some of those resources for the whole community, and that's
Yes,
just a blessing. And if they didn't have the support of having students there to pay the tuition and keep them going, they wouldn't be
right.
able to offer like a subset of things to the rest of
Yes,
us,
that's right. That's right.
and we
And it
we
is,
benefit.
and as you know, online, sorry to interrupt. I
No.
mean, lots of people, I mean, anybody can do that, can offer, share their knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
But it is that the term, it used to be called continuing education or
Mm.
lifelong learning. I think it still
Yep.
is. But a
Yep.
term that I like that people are using is community education.
Yeah.
It's outside of the
Yeah.
structure of a
Yeah.
degree
Yeah.
program, and it's open to whomever, whoever the audience is for the content. And so, and of course the internet has sort of opened all of that because more
Yeah.
people can provide content that people can learn from. So
Yeah, and I've been doing that a lot, especially with music, because even though I went to UNC and did a lot of band programs and was in orchestra for a little bit and just so many different wonderful things I was able to do, but I was not a music major. So there was still like a lot of stuff that was going on there that I didn't have the time because I was doing my chemistry major and my minor in creative writing. So I was getting a lot of good support and a lot of good education, but not quite everything. So it's been great for me to go online. So many producers who are cutting edge are educating people about, okay, this is what we're doing in 2026, y'all. This is how we're getting that, crisp, light, airy kind of vocal sound. This is what I like. What do y'all think? And so even if you went to school, say even 5 years ago for something, trends shift. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
yeah,
shift
yeah,
all the
yeah. It
time in
makes
certain
sense.
types of
Right.
art and certain types of business too. So
Right.
you need to stay up on stuff.
Okay, so
So
bringing it back to Stray Kids, because they're one of my favorite groups right
yes, let's
now.
go back.
So of course, and so so I watch a lot of reaction videos. So I just
Oh,
think
okay.
it's fun sometimes to see people who have not heard the song and they react in the moment. But there are quite a few musicians and producers and directors and singers and everything who will do reaction videos and then they apply their knowledge.
Yes,
So
I
there
love
are a
that.
few in particular who are producers and they'll say, "Well, you see what they did there. This is how you get that technique." And I thought, so you can definitely learn
Oh,
from it sometimes, which
oh,
is
I
really
love it.
cool.
I usually
Mhm.
am using that reaction video kind of format to learn for the voice, for the singing. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been listening to voice teachers and so many different voice teachers, and some
Yes,
are like
yes,
amazing, like people who are just fantastic with their instrument. Not only do they hear, but they can
yes,
hit every single note that everyone sings in all the
yes,
different
yes,
voices. And I'm
yes,
like, they're stunning. And one of them, Jaron M. LeGrare, I think he recently got on faculty at Oberlin. So he got like a full position over there. I don't know if y'all know, but that's a great institution. Talking about educational institution, that's a
yes.
well known, I think, conservatory. I think they have a conservatory over there.
Mhm,
Anyway,
mhm.
y'all probably know better than me technically what they have, but it is fantastic, I think, over there. And I was listening to him online. I was like, he is fantastic. Well, a lot of establishment also agrees he's fantastic. It's not
Yes,
just the
yes,
internet that thinks so. So,
yes,
yeah, we
yes.
can get some great education online.
Yeah, I mean, and some of the best ones are, there's a group, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the names, but there's a group of musicians who I think are students, and then like one will play the piano, but one will play the
Mm,
violin, and one play whatever, and then they'll all listen to the same song in pairs, and
mm.
then they react. Oh, well, they're using this chord, da, 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 and then they'll go to the piano and play it or whatever, and you know what I mean. They have all these terms, and then what they'll do is they'll flash the definition. So if you use arpeggio or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then they'll explain what it is, and they'll do
I
that.
love that.
So,
Well, if
yeah,
you
I do too. I really
I
like
want to find that. If you whenever you have a chance, I would love to get that because it'll be fun for my son Kai, because he's learning different instruments now and
that.
he loves it. But sometimes there's a lot more that he'll know and not know the name for. And
Mm,
for me, I've never taught anybody anything but drumming. I haven't gone through the whole music theory kind of thing. And
mhm,
he's real little, and I think it'd be fun for him to just sort of see some different things from different people.
mhm,
And I don't think I'm going to be his complete source for musical education by any means. Like, he's going to outstrip me like that. He already has because he's starting to learn guitar and piano, and I don't play either one of those. I just, mess around, pluck on some stuff, and mess around,
mhm.
bang on some stuff. So he's going to, be, I think, loving to hear people
Just talking
understand
about
something.
music
Yeah,
and
just
yeah,
talk about it because he can notice it. He'll notice it, and then he'll then
yeah.
have a name for it. That, oh, that's how you figure stuff out.
Mhm, mhm.
Because what is he doing? There's a kids show called Bluey. I think it's Australian, and he
Okay.
likes that show. And there's a lesson online for kids to learn the theme song. And
Oh,
so he's already sort of connecting. Okay, I
oh,
like
that's
this music.
really cool. That's cool because
Because
they'll know the song already, right? Totally in a positive, natural, organic way,
exactly.
right? And then, oh, that's how
Yeah.
you get that to sound like that. Okay.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
so different than how I remember coming up learning in
Like
band,
hear the
especially.
notes and you play the
Yeah.
notes
Basic
and
music theory from
yeah,
Sousa waltz, not waltzes, but Sousa like marches and just
yeah,
things that weren't popular even
yeah.
decades ago when I was learning. And they
Yeah.
were not popular for hundreds of years at that point.
Right,
So
right.
it was
It
like,
was
or at least a
in,
hundred.
and that's what you did.
Yeah, that's what you did. So it's great, I think, when people can bring music education into things we already like and then expose us to the rest. Because I think it's great that
Yeah.
I know a bunch of different random composers that I wouldn't have known had I not gone to school and played their work. And now I love
Mhm.
it. But I think it's exciting when you can start with stuff you already love and be able to
Mhm.
make some of that. That's like, oh, this is
Yeah,
so cool. But
yeah.
yeah, so I've been remixing things and trying to get the tips and tricks from the different producers. I'm like, ooh, okay, if I'm gonna remix this for this, I need to have that vocal sound with the extra layers. Sometimes
Mhm,
I'm
mhm,
so
mhm.
used to my ears just love live music and sort of natural sounding stuff. And I get commentary from people who screen stuff out that I pitch things for a taxi. I've mentioned them before. I've gone to their road rally, but so
Oh,
the
yeah.
people who are screeners, they will comment. They're like, the vocals, it's a good effort, good vocal, but you got to do a lot of processing. Okay, like it needs to sound not so live. And the thing is, that's the game, right? But I have years of playing live and I really do love a live sound, but that's not the game. So I'm like, okay, let me go look at the game.
Yeah, it's interesting because Stray Kids,
Mm,
they have been criticized for having noise music because they have a lot of different rhythms. In part because they have 8 members, okay, and
yeah.
they have an excellent way of putting them together. You can imagine if you have 8 different people and they all sing on, the songs that have the whole
Yeah.
band, the whole group.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have 8, if you and I are there, the way you approach even the hook might be different than the way I would because we're
Mm-hmm.
taking advantage of our differences. And
Mm-hmm.
they do that really, really
Mm,
well. And so one of the things that people will comment on is, oh, I can hear this effect on the
yeah.
voice
Yeah.
here to do
Yeah.
this, and then they pull this out, they strip this back, and
Mm-hmm.
and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they're very, very good at it. Because to me, the result is always very interesting.
Mm,
There's always a through thread that I can, hook into as someone who grew up with a more traditional, like steady R&B sound.
mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
they do a really good job of that, I think. Yeah.
That's good because I think hooking folks with things that they know will appeal to a large number of people. That is also the game in the business of music, making sure you don't lose us with your innovation, being paired also with familiar, like that balance point. Yeah.
Again, they're trying to build kind of a new sound in a
Mm.
way. And
Mm-hmm.
so they've had a lot of haters because they
Ah.
don't sometimes follow. They've got their own vision for what they're doing. So it's
You gonna
amazing.
get Sorry, you gonna get hate if you like everybody else. That's derivative. You don't have anything to say. You got too much to say. Sit down
And,
somewhere. That's two
and
different.
one of the reactors I listen to, I love him because he's pause and rewind. So you have a simple title I can
Yeah.
remember.
Okay.
So his YouTube site, and that's what he says. He was like, "Oh no, you're supposed to collect haters. If you're not, don't have haters, then you're probably not out there doing much of anything. Like, no, you want more haters.
That's really
Have
true.
you attracted some haters today?"
Right. That's really true, though. I mean, it's sort of funny because as an artist, you should care about your stuff. And so you got to make sure you have some type of way you're going to handle that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you're not out there getting hate, you're just not out there enough. That's the truth. That really is the truth. And your stuff is never supposed to be for everybody. It's just this.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, yeah. You're going to have people who love what you do because
Right.
it's coming from someplace so real to you. It's going to come from probably a story that some people need to hear. And there's other folk, they just don't need to hear it. And it's not for them. And that's fine. It's totally
And that's
fine.
fine. Yeah. And just
Yeah.
to be clear for everybody, I don't mean real hate. I just mean
No,
hate
no, no,
to
no.
say, oh, that's bad, or I don't
Yeah,
like it, or
yeah,
whatever.
totally. Yeah, no, not real hate. No, there's too much of that out there. We don't need any of that in our
Exactly.
artistic conversations and our debating which group is better than that. We can leave all that stuff lighter. Let
Right.
that be, yeah,
Exactly.
entertaining. But yeah, so that's been fun to be learning online and enjoying music and remixing things. And then I've also been screenwriting, doing some reconsidering of my recent screenplays, getting them ready to send things out in 2026. It's my year, y'all. I can just feel good things are coming. So I'm like, okay, let me get back in there, blow a little dust off of some of these things. Say, wait a minute now. Oh, 2026, that's your year. You were ahead of the time. You were ahead of your time. Well, until your thing is sold, you should always be thinking, oh, okay, yeah, I could maybe pivot this in this way, or it could speak to this now. You could give it a little refresh or just resend it to somebody who's now interested. It's not unfair to assume that you should keep cycling your things out there. So I'm doing that with I think three of my more recent screenplays, not all of mine, because I think some of them, the ones that I'm actually planning to push and do another cycle of sending them out to different contests and not just to agents and not just to managers who are requesting specific things, but actually proactively send them out. They're the ones I think that are the most me. So talk about trying to either stand out or not. People give a lot
Mhm.
of advice around screenwriting and they say, well, you might think about trying to write to trends, but really you might be better off trying to have your own voice come through and then people will know you for a thing like in so much commerce honestly that people come to know this person for this brand for that team does this one does that, the girl up the street who you need to babysit, she does that, her brother does the knitting, whatever it is, people get known for stuff. you know and in a way, I guess that's what I have to think about when it comes to which of my pieces I'm going to send back out. So I've been a little bit like not wanting to overly mess with things because I think these are complete stories. But I also think, depending on what else has been made in the last year or two, I also want to make sure I have something to say because that got made and it's not the same thing, but it's sort of connected in a way. So I'm like, okay, well, let me make sure I evolve past whatever they covered because that was a hit. That was a blockbuster. So let me make sure that I add something to the conversation. And I think that's fair. That's sort of fun. Keep it fresh for yourself. I'm thinking about let's see, what else have I been up to? Not as much with the PhD related stuff, just because it's been a lot of creative work for me, but I still am available and sometimes throw my hat in the ring for different AI training opportunities that relate to that or relate to acting or relate to writing. So I've been, looking to see when projects are about to start back up in some of those areas, getting excited, getting shortlisted. So hopefully I'll be slotted in there for some of these things. I would be excited, very excited. So that covers, I think, a lot of the acting, writing, research, music, keynote stuff. I'm prospecting and people are picking up the phone, say, oh, that's interesting. We might have something. Send things your way. So send things our way. Send your things our way is what they're saying. So that feels nice because I think when I'm timing things to reach out during the holidays, it's like, well, people not really trying to do a lot
Right,
right
right.
around the end of
Yeah,
last
okay.
year.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
doing other things. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Trying to do other things, wrap up other things. And now
yeah.
it's like, okay, we're starting into certain
Well,
things
that's
for,
a good point
yeah,
about this time of the year.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
just timing things right for any event. Sort of
right.
takes a little bit of calling around and seeing, and then you learn, then you know. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention for people who are my patrons, thank you, patrons. Thank y'all. Thank you. I put a post up January 31st for patrons in the top 2 tiers. So y'all on Patreon, you can see. So yeah, I think that one was an inspired by and why. I think that's what that show was. But I'm doing my monthly thing over there, and there should be some other content that is exclusive over there. But in general, once a month things and behind the scenes, like if some of the things I've been applying for as a screenwriter get me somewhere, then it will affect some of the support that I have to be able to do a little bit more that will be shown there. So and also some things will just go out to the general public too. But I'm really excited about some behind the scenes things I can share there if I get some more support. But there will still be things if I get that support or not. There will still be fun things, and so some stuff was put up last week over there. What about the lady from Arrested Development? I know, right? Okay, so there's a chat comment. Thank you in the chat. So that's because I have a colleague. One of my colleagues used to be in Arrested Development. Y'all, I've been working with so many different people who are amazing in this AI community. People get all these experts in their field. And so I'm in this group with writers who are people who've been published in the New York Times and done this and done that. And it's amazing. And one of the people who's involved with this group as a songwriter is an amazing singer who has worked with Arrested Development. And so we were all who were in the this was we're in between rounds of working on that project. And so in between rounds of working on the project, just for fun and kicks and giggles, they organized just they didn't pay us for this, but just organized a little online gathering so we could do a little show. And so I just went because I've been busy and I was like, let me just go listen. And so we learned that one of our colleagues is a person who was in a show that I mean in a band that we all loved years ago. Like Tennessee. I'm talking about Take Me to Another Place, Take Me to Another Land. You know Arrested Development. Okay. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I
Thank you
was
for the
yeah,
prompt.
no problem.
Been a little
It's been a
while.
while. It's been a while, but that kind of
It's
talent
great.
level is undeniable. And so when I'm on there and I'm sort of getting ideas based on how other people talk about things in office hours and stuff, I'm like, oh, these folks, they know a lot of what's going on. Like I have background in poetry more so and certain types of fiction writing and then songwriting, I'm newer to it. So I was like, okay, and I'm getting all these good tips and stuff. No wonder I'm getting all these good tips. You got top tier people over there. I'm like, this is wonderful. And other people were saying that too. They're like, I've learned so much being on the show because we bring our expertise in certain subgenres, but they ask us to actually participate in all the genres that we feel pretty competent in, not just the ones that we actually have won awards in. I've won awards in poetry and I've been published in poetry and I've had a, fellowship in writing novels, but they asked us to actually look in more areas just so our data, I guess, can be helpful in more analyses, essentially. So they can just do more analysis of patterns and the data. So I've been doing that. And I am a songwriter, you guys. And so I've had, compositions get out there. But as far as lyric writing, that's this kind of melding of the poetry. And so I'm like, okay, how are we doing this? And folks are just of a caliber. And I'm just like, oh, doesn't it show? And they're just down to earth in the office hours and I mean, I don't know that I've actually interacted with this particular person, but the vibe is not hoity toity, not amongst the songwriters, not amongst, the people that I'm gravitating towards in the project. It's nice vibes with the book writing folks. It's just been really good in the groups that I have been seeing. And, every project out there is not like that, but I've been able to find some really good AI projects where there's some good humans behind those zeros and ones training our AI overlords. I don't know. People can feel very squeamish about AI, and I think it's right for all of us who are having AI interface with our lives to ask about what limits we want to put on it and how we want to protect our intellectual property and our jobs from impacts of exploding technology. But I think we can probably figure out ways to do that and hold people accountable so that gets done the right way. And in the meantime, it's a fun tool to play with sometimes. I mean, y'all know it can be fun, it can be helpful. But so yeah, that was that. Thank you for that comment. It's fun, but it's just fun to mix it up with a lot of creative people. That's one of the things I feel privileged about with this creative business is I'm getting to mix it up with folks, and their energy can be so fun and so great. And I'm just trying to figure out ways to get more support so I can pay folks and just honor them that way as I'm working with people, because a lot of people are very generous with their time. Thank you, Greg, out there. Greg Yim, one of my guitar players. I'm like, Greg, I gotta get you some support. You've been gifting me, gracing me with so many wonderful things. I'm like, let me go out there and earn some more so I can, you know, pay out some more too. And that's the nature of the business too. I want to make sure I have that validation for the things I'm doing, that comes with that money validation, you know. But I'm feeling lucky and blessed and connected to really good people that are going to help me do that. So I cannot complain. And if y'all are interested in reaching out and learning different tips and stuff from me as far as where I'm finding good learning online, holler at me and let me know. But we're getting toward the end. I'm looking at the time. I'm way off screen looking at the time, trying to see the time. So we gotta
It's-
wrap things up
yeah,
and do
we're at
our
26, almost 27.
yes, we gotta wrap this up. So as usual, before we wrap it up, we want to do our health trivia, but I also want to mention next live with Cheryl is going to be first Thursday of March, so March 5th at
March.
8:30 p.m.
Wow.
I know we're really just zooming through
Birthday
this year.
month. Woo!
What do you say now?
Birthday month.
I
March.
know, right? I know. I was talking about what anyway, I'm not gonna say anything, but yes, birthday month. Yes, we are those who know.
Yes.
So that's exciting. Birthday month is coming up for certain folks. And for the rest of us, March will be coming in. I don't know if we want it to be in like a lion. Is that April in like a lion? Out like
For
a
the rest
lamb?
of you, March is support birthday month.
There you go. Just now we've been warned. Okay, everyone, we've been
Now you know.
informed. Not warmed, informed.
The more you know.
Informed. The more the more you know. I just want to use all the catchphrases right now. But let me focus. And learning is half the battle. Let me stop.
Is it-
So next
And
live
it's,
with Cheryl.
and it's fundamental. No, reading
That's
is fundamental. Sorry.
and you must learn to read so that can, I'm sorry. Like we're gonna just keep going, aren't we? No, we're
Memory
not.
is fundamental. Okay.
There we go. We're having a good old time of live with Cheryl today. So next was March 5th. And then yeah, so we're gonna wrap up with our trivia. This one was fun for me because I see February as so many different things. You know, people are kicking back up as we're anticipating spring coming up soon, anticipating birthday month coming up next, but Black History Month, February, you know, got so many different things. But I was thinking about Valentine's Day when I came up with this one. So I wanted to share with y'all a resource and I'll get to it. But the trivia is around benefits of social connection, healthy social connection, supportive social connection can be known to help reduce the risk of heart blank, of stroke, of dementia, and more. So, can supportive social connection reduce the risk of heart disease or heart health? Like, is a supportive social connection just going to worry your nerves so much because you just feel so blessed that you have all that support? Or is it going to reduce your risk of disease because you feel connected? I'm just completely trying to assist y'all. Okay, let me give a little music. Let me give a little music so y'all can think and see if y'all can come up with something. We're trying to be supportive here. We're trying to be a supportive social connection right now. What do we see in the chat, y'all? Do y'all have an answer for us in the chat? You feel like you support us, we support you. If you get the right answer, you get to choose if you want to hear the theme song on the way out. Okay, let me shut off the music since we are running short on time. Oh,
Yeah,
wait, no,
since
we
you
have something in the chat. Reducing the
disease
risk. Yeah,
of
reducing the
disease,
risk. Exactly.
yeah,
Reducing the risk.
the heart
So,
disease,
so
just the heart
right,
disease.
the risk of something negative, not of something positive. So, I'm gonna read into that what Dr. Felicia was gonna say. What is it, Dr. Felicia? We'll do a
Yeah,
tag team.
it reduces the risk of heart disease.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I have as usual, a resource that has more in there from the CDC. So this one is saying supportive social connections can help reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, depression, and anxiety. And they give some tips even about how you can start to try to form some of those connections if you're a little bit out of practice. Some of us, yeah, right. Heart attacks, heart disease. Exactly, exactly. So many different things can benefit us if we have supportive social connections. But for some of us, when the pandemic hit and we all sort of went our separate ways, that was hard. And some of us have not recovered. I'm gonna just be honest. Like some of my social connections, I'm still trying to reconnect because I got so used to just being isolated. But it's not good for us. So there's some tips on that CDC resource that y'all can go to. And I hope y'all do. And hope you'll come back in March in a certain person's birthday month to see us again on Live with Cheryl for some supportive social connection. Y'all, thanks for listening. And let me ask, because we did get from the online chat, we did get the answer in combination. It was a tag team situation. So from the online chat, would you like to listen to the theme song or another little song that we have? And let us know quickly. And y'all, we really appreciate your support out there. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, people who are curious, just buzzing by. That's fine. We're a supportive social connection here. If you want to tarry a little bit, take some time. If you want to dilly and dally with us, you certainly can. Chill out with us on Live with Cheryl. That's what we're all about. Relaxing a little bit and sharing some tips and just enjoying what inspires us and what keeps us a little bit healthier than if we didn't do it. So thanks, y'all. Again, March 5th is going to be next Live with Cheryl. And let's see if the person on the chat who has been responsive, if they have suggested that they want to hear anything. So I don't see any suggestion. So, Dr. Felicia, do you want to hear the theme song or you want to hear something else?
Something else.
Okay, so let me dig into my bag here and get you something else. Y'all take care and enjoy. You ever have one of those moments, right there, one of those moments when you realize something, hey now, you really need to shake things up. Bye-bye, tightrope